Hello everyone, welcome to the channel. Today I want to cover a tragic and serious story, one that's kind of grabbed the headlines across the whole entire UK, but I'm going to stay calm, measured and factual, to be honest, because this type of event sometimes can come across very rushed because it is breaking news. But this matters because consequences here are huge. Lives are lost, futures are literally changed forever, and a strong reminder that there is issues in the world that we cannot forget. And the incident itself is that on Monday the 3rd of February 2025 at lunchtime at All Saints Catholic High School in Sheffield, there was a 15-year-old pupil. His name was Harvey Willgroose, was fatally stabbed by a fellow pupil, and he was only aged 15 at the time. And what has been described as a knife attack outside of the school cafeteria, according to Sky News. So yeah, we're going to look into that because, to be honest, mate, it's not nice, is it? And we live in a world, and so do you. But we're going to find out what's going on, starting right now.
Analyzing the news.
Okay, so we're going to find out a bit deeper what actually is going on, because CCTV footage showed the boys squaring up to each other in a classroom. Then altercations happened and then it moved outside. Again, this is all according to Sky News. The fatal wound penetrated Harvey's chest and hit his heart, and he collapsed shortly after being stabbed twice. Other pupils fled in fear and panic, and they bloody would as well. They'd be terrified. If I saw something like that as an adult, I'd be scared. But can you imagine what it's like for children to see things like that? It's not a nice experience at all. Some people reportedly looked at themselves thinking, where the hell do we go? And they actually locked themselves in a cupboard, according to the Standard newspaper. So let's have a look at a picture and image of this person who has been convicted. Let's get him up now. Here he is, when I can see his bloody face. Let's have a look. He's only a young lad, but still, it doesn't really matter, does it? It's not the point. I'm just trying to get it up now if we can. There you go. Well, that's not me. You don't. Oh, I didn't do it. I'm trying to find the guy who actually did, the young lad himself. Like I say, he's only a young kid. So what was he bloody playing at? I'm trying to get the image of the boy up for you, just so we can see it, because he has, his face has been put up there now, which is unusual. I'll get to the image in a second, but it is unusual that the put the person's face on the major media. I know they did it with James Bulger back in the 1990s, the killings of the little boy James Bulger. But let's go back to the story before we get an image of him, and then I'll come back to you. So again, in 2025 August, the attacker was found guilty of murder after a trial in Sheffield Crown Court, according to The Guardian. And some details of the trial are as follows. It says the defendant was charged with manslaughter, but he actually denied murder, claiming he had just snapped after a long-standing bullying. Now, I know bullying is not on, really, is it? It can cause a lot of stress to a lot of people, but again, this is murder, isn't it? And this is what it's happened. Someone's unfortunately lost their life, and that young lad's got a family. Even the guy who's actually the young lad who's committed the crime, he's got a family. So it's gonna have a ripple effect across all sorts of people, isn't it? The jury concluded that the act was deliberate and not a simple loss of control, and prosecutors argued that he knew exactly what he was doing. And during the sentencing, it was revealed that the defendant himself had searched online for weapons related to create harm. So again, it's that premeditated. He had images of himself with knives, so he was saying, look at me, and then he introduced a knife into school as well, according to Sky News. So he was taking knives actually into the bloody school. You couldn't freaking make it up. Again, I'm trying to get you this image of this fella. I can even call him a fella, but he's not. He's a kid. But you don't expect kids to do things like this. Let me see if I can get him. Let me have a look. Give me a second. I'm going to show his face if I can see it. I did have an image of him, so I do apologise, but this is live. You know what happens when things are live? Things go wrong, don't they? Let's have a look. Okay, here he is. This is the young man in question. So now you've got an image to his face, so now you know what he looks like. Again, the court said this was a devastating crime, which has had a huge effect on Harvey's family, and of course it will. All the sentence in here in itself, the anonymity order, which was protecting the defendant, was actually lifted. That's why you can see his face here, allowing him to be named, and his name is Mohammed Umar Khan. So there you go. That's what they're doing now, aren't they? They're starting to put a face to the criminal themselves. I'm not saying he's a criminal, but he's committed a horrific crime, hasn't he? So Khan was sentenced to life imprisonment with a minimum term tariff of 16 years before he can be considered for release by the parole board. That's serious. 16 years. That means he ain't getting out. He's going to be, 31 years old? Sad, isn't it? But there you go. That's what happens. Crime doesn't pay. But what is the world coming to, guys? It's literally lunacy, isn't it? A life sentence basically means, if you don't know, that the individual remains on license, i.e. under supervision with potential recall for the rest of their life, really, even after release. So if he does anything wrong after that, he'll go straight back to prison. So again, the minimum term 16 years marks the earliest point at which the parole board may consider whether release is appropriate or not. Again, his release date is not guaranteed, and time already spent on remand is taken into account when calculating how much of the minimum term remains. Again, this is all according to Sky News. Let's get another image up here so you can see it, right? This is the actual knife involved. Can you see that? Now, there's lots of shops you can go in and pick up knives like that, and they literally serve anyone, because he's managed to get hold of that. That is not a toy. It really isn't. Can you imagine how much damage that's going to do? If that goes in, once you pull it out, it's going to tear. You can actually see the tears. The teeth of the blade. Can you imagine how much damage that will do? It's not a clean wound, is it? Background checks and migration or mitigating, should I say, factors. That's also involved in it. In this case, the judge referenced the defendants as very low in average intellectual and processing speed, through emphasis that he did not excuse, or it didn't excuse the offence. So he wasn't stupid. And Harvey's family read victim impact statements in court, and his sister Sophie actually said the important thing they need to get across is that in this moment our world was shattered forever. The defendant didn't just end Harvey's life, he ended ours too. And again, that's what would happen. His father as well said, whatever happens in court, there'll never be justice. Beyond the family, this case has rattled the local community in Sheffield and beyond. And the Deputy Mayor for Policing and Crime in South Yorkshire said the case was a stark reminder of the urgent need to tackle violence at its roots, and called for renewed focus on knife crime prevention. Sorry, I can't get my bloody words out. So there you go. That's a dangerous knife, isn't it? It's I can't even imagine what it'd be like to be stabbed by that. You can see footage here. I'll just get that up. You can see him there. This was just shortly before the actual event happened. Again, the victim denied this completely. Sorry, not the victim. I do apologise. The actual person who committed the crime, though he's not going to admit it, is he? Now, there are several important themes that this case highlights, especially if you're a creator like me who wants to help explore deeper truths rather than just surface headlines. Something needs to be done about it because knife crime in school is on the rise. This wasn't simply a fight among students. A weapon was brought into the school and it was used in a lethal way in broad bloody daylight. The fact that that's what happened is lunacy, and it was a hunting knife, and it was made oh, sorry, I'm losing my words here because I'm still in shell shock that this has happened. Can you imagine? I know it's easy to look at it because you don't know these people, but if that was your son or someone you knew, it'd have a different effect on you, wouldn't it? They say this case raises questions about school safety, the efficiency of security measures, because knife archers, metal detectors, searches, it's not working, is it? And the schools need to respond threats or previous incidents. For example, the same defendant had reportedly been carrying knives in the past. He actually carried an axe onto the school premises, and that's according to Sky News. A 15-year-old taking a knife into schools signals something more than adolescence conflict. Now, I know kids can be naughty and challenging behaviour and all that, but taking a knife, if you're taking a knife into school, you've got an intention, haven't you? And that intention is to bloody use it. And yeah, now his life is ruined, and so is that young boy's. You can see him there. He's only a kid, and look at that. And I don't know what that kid was like, but he's a kid. They're both bloody kids. What is bloody going on? It's crazy. What do you think? Well, it's obvious. If anyone says, oh, you should bring knives into school, well, there's an idiot, aren't you? So how do we stop it? How do the schools stop it? What can they do about it? Because at the minute, everything that they're doing isn't working. Now, obviously, there's warning signs. A student carrying a weapon and claiming it's for protection, and that's what a lot of kids say. And I do get it, because some kids are in fear, aren't they? Because they say, well, other kids carry knives, I'm going to carry one. So they come up with this protection thing. But yeah, if you carry a knife, you're going to get stabbed, aren't you? It's like you can't, if you spend too long in a barber's, you're going to end up with an haircut. I'm not trying to be funny, but the reality is, you play with fire, you're going to get burnt. Social media involvement in conflicts that spill into real life as well. Possibly bullying or perceived betrayal or fear that may escalate into violence. These are all things that can obviously have an effect on it as well. Let me just get that picture down. Now let's see if we've got any more images here, because there he is there. Can you see him? I'm just getting these images up so you can see this young man, and he is a kid. Right, I don't think people are evil. I just think people. Well, you can see him there. Is he holding a knife? It's a crazy world we live in. We can't overstate the human cost. Harvey lost his life. His family lost their son, brother, his classmates, witnessed trauma which will affect them for the rest of their life. The school community must now process something horrific, and the ripple effect will be long. In victim impact statements, the destruction of mental health, the shattering of worlds, the void left where all emphasis and emphasized on the reality of what is going on in the world. Because to be honest, I don't bloody know. I can't get my freaking head around it at all. It's crazy what is going on. It really is. It just shows juvenile offenders are dealt with in the UK criminal justice system, and this they're not always shown, are they? So they've got that safety bracket, so a lot of kids think, well, I can't get in trouble because I'm only a kid. But again, things are starting to change because the world is not like it was 10 years ago. And I know people say, well, we didn't have the internet then, did we? So because we've got the internet now, people are more aware that all these things happen. But they've always happened. No, they bloody haven't. The world's going bonkers, crazy. What is going on? What is going on? Put it in the comments so I can make sense of it, because I don't bloody know. But yeah, it's the world's not safe at the moment. I was in Lanzarote last week, Spain, and Spain's nothing like the UK. It's completely different. But 10 years ago, Spain felt almost a little bit more scarier than the UK. But yeah, walking on British soil now, even I get scared. I won't go out at night, and I've never lived in fear. But the way the world's going, it's I think it's justified, isn't it, that you've got to be a little bit aware of your surroundings, not just if you're a kid, for crying out loud, but even as an adult as well. So there you go. So anyway, he's been sent in. So knife crime is not just a policing issue, is it really? It involves community and education, mental health, family backgrounds, peer culture, weapon supply, and perhaps social media influence. The deputy mayor's comments emphasises this. He says knife crime is not just a policing issue, and he's right there. It bloody isn't. He said it's a social one, and it is. It's a social one. What are we going to do? What are we going to do? I remember when I was a lad, people were afraid of the law. Not afraid of the law, but they were. You respected your parents. You respected authority. But again, it seems the land days of bloody soon disappearing very quickly, and God only knows why. Because I'm telling you, I haven't got a freaking clue. So there he is. There's that lad, and I don't think anyone's evil. I don't think he's done an evil thing. I think what he's done is like in the Bible, isn't it? And I'm not quoting scriptures here, but when Jesus was on the cross, he said, "Please forgive them. They do not know what they're doing." And I think these kids that live in this world now, it's not the same world as it was 20 years ago, even 10 years ago. It's changing over and over again. It's God knows what the world's going to be like in the next 5 years. So there you go. You've got something to look forward to, because I can't see it getting any better. Can you, really? True? Yeah, well, I can't. But anyway, that's enough from me. So I just thought I'd share that information with you. This video has not been edited, by the way, so if I and I do apologise. But I've tried to tell you exactly what's going on, and basically, in a nutshell, that's it. But until next time, guys, look after yourself, and come on. Something has to change, and what that is, I don't know. But let me know in the comments. Till next time, guys. See you later.
Analyzing the news.